This morning, more stakeholders reassure Governor Soludo's landslide victory ahead of Anambra Guber polls. Joint security team arrest hoodlums to recover pump action in Anambra. Federal government begins a cancer campaign. Putin says he is open to direct talks with Ukraine as U.S. presence builds. Security is here to stay in Anambra State. In the Anambra, remember, security is everyone's business. And for us to have a more secure and livable Anambra State, let us join forces with the state government in securing our state. If you see something, say something. Report unscrupulous elements to the security agencies for better security of lives and property. Remember the emergency numbers 5111 and 0800-220-0008. Welcome to the news. My name is Ijoma Uche. The spiritual director of God in Action Ministry and Vicar St. Paul's Parish, Mwago Agolo, in Anocha local government area, Reverend Canon Lumen Christi Ebo, has prophesied a landslide victory for Governor Chukwuma Soludo in the forthcoming November 8th governorship election in Anambra State, declaring that other contenders are merely in the race to fulfill all righteousness, as the outcome of the elections has already been spiritually decided in Soludo's favor. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo reports that that was one of the major prophecies released by Reverend Canon Ebo during God in Action Ministry's Friday Adoration Night with the theme, I must take back my seat. His report.
The adoration service also marked the spiritual director's 45th birthday, which he celebrated with members and non-members of the ministry who came from across the state and beyond. Reverend Canon Ebo advised Christians to always hold God firm and not to give up in the face of tribulation, as according to him, God will always come to their aid if they can remain faithful.
Christ in the and when you may deliver say, but on 3 secret societies, but we destroyed Keta, he is doing perfectly well. So, no to Chrissy, Onobana, Obiun Amapununu, Otak or Denjo or the man.
Members of God in Action Ministry took turns to testify how God used the ministry to deliver them from various degrees of life problems, including Mrs. Ife Nwa Emmanuel, Mr. Chigozie, Mr. Stanley Nwokocha, and Mrs. Ngozi Obiano, who God delivered from deadly disease, madness, occultic society, fire outbreak, among others.
God in Action
From Wagwagulu in Anocha Council area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo reporting for ABS News.
Power and Water Resources Commissioner Chief Engineer Julius Chukwuemeka has maintained that the victory of Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo CFR in the forthcoming Anambra Guber race remains non-negotiable. Chukwuemeka made this known Wednesday while addressing the gatherings during the commissioning of Willie Obiano Boulevard by the governor. He noted that Mr. Governor has been so good for the people of the Anambra North Zone, while recalling the promise he made to the people of Okpuku community less than 24 hours after his swearing in, which he has fulfilled even more. Mr. Commissioner urged the people of the state to maintain their support for the governor, especially on November 8th, which he noted will be a perfect way to appreciate Soludo for all he is doing in the entire state. A joint security team comprising police operatives attached to Uli Police Station and Uli Vigilantes in patrol of Operation Udogachi Zero Kidnapping engaged armed hoodlums on motorbikes in a gun duel and arrested 2 suspects. Others was reported at the security team recovered 1 pump-action gun and 2 motorbikes along Uli Amoka Onitsha Owerri Road. Anambra Police Command spokesperson SP Tochukwu Ikenga, in a press statement, disclosed that the suspects, Chigozie Johnson and Umuerima Oguta, all males between the age bracket of 30 to 32 years, confessed to being among members of the criminal gang and were in evil mission before they were arrested. Meanwhile, during the police operatives search in a nearby bush, a lot of blood stains were observed, and some of the gang members had bullet wounds. Following the development, the command urges proprietors of private and public hospitals to admit but report any individual presented with bullet wounds or injuries of a suspicious nature to the nearest police station. The command maintained its commitment to maintaining security dominance through sustained patrols and targeted security operatives in the state. As Easter celebrations unfold across the region, a recent media report has drawn criticism regarding comments attributed to the leadership of Operation Udogachi and Agudna Chamber, an initiative aimed at enhancing security in Anambra State. Speaking to the press in Oka to clarify the situation, the special advisor to Governor Soludo on community security, Mr. Ken Emakai, emphasized that they had been misquoted and that their message had been taken out of context. Correspondent GK Abana has the report.
According to the special advisor, they did not label their members as armed robbers or criminals. They are only addressing concerns raised about reports of extortion allegedly committed by some individuals in the outfit. Mr. Emakai emphasized that the operatives do not conduct checkpoints but operate pin-down locations designed to create a safer environment for Anambra, an initiative that aims to enable residents to go about their daily activities without fear of crime, screen individuals on the roads, and deter criminal activities such as robbery and kidnapping. However, the leadership acknowledged receiving reports of extortion by individuals allegedly associated with the operation, firmly categorizing it as extortion and unauthorized. He reiterated that the purpose of Operation Udogachi and Agune Chamber is to provide security in collaboration with law enforcement agencies, not to engage in profit-making activities, warning that any member of the outfit who is engaged in extortion or activities that deviate from their primary responsibilities will face strict consequences because it is akin to armed robbery.
Those in the communities, they are recruited by members of the community. They have their committees. They are in line with the Homeland Security law. And you have the Aguneshe Budogachi at the local government level, which is directly under the command and control of the mayor of the local government. Then you have the state command. Lying with the law, all of them are answerable one way or the other to the state.
Speaking on concerns about recruitment practices for members of the outfit, the leadership reassured the public about the credibility of the recruitment process, insisting that they do thorough evaluation to ensure that those joining the ranks are trustworthy and committed to their responsibilities.
The federal government, through the Ministry of Health, has flagged off the cervical cancer vaccine campaign in Bauchi State. While kicking the campaign on the Saturday, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Ali Pet, explained that every year in Nigeria, more than 12,000 women suffer from cervical cancer despite being preventable. The executive chairman, Bauchi State Primary Healthcare Board, Rewanu Mohammed, stated that the state has remained committed to the success of the campaign. Rewanu revealed that the vaccines work very well on children that have not been sexually attended, especially the young girls between 9 years to 14 years old. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that he is open to the possibility of bilateral talks with Ukraine for the first time in years, as pressure from the United States builds on both sides to agree to a quick peace deal. U.S., European, and Ukraine officials are set to meet this week in London after Washington warned that it could abandon its efforts on ending the conflict if there were no signs of progress. Speaking to reporters, Putin said it could be possible to discuss the halting of strikes against civilian infrastructure directly with Kyiv. Ukraine, which called for the extension of the truce before it expired Sunday, has repeatedly accused Russia of deliberately targeting civilians with air and drone strikes, and President Volodymyr Zelensky has called for Moscow to halt such attacks. Putin acknowledged that recent Russian strikes had hit civilian facilities in Ukraine, but claimed that they were being used for military purposes. Ukraine and Russia have not held direct talks since the early weeks of Moscow's invasion in 2022. Last Friday, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned that the U.S. could walk away from its efforts to end the Ukrainian conflict within days if there were no signs of progress. Trump later confirmed the statement, but did not provide a timeline. In our sports, Leon Balogun is likely to leave Scottish Premier League giants Rangers at the end of the season. Balogun's current contract will expire at the end of the season. Balogun has expressed his desire to stay with the club beyond the season. He has enjoyed two different stints with the Light Blues. The 36-year-old initially linked up with the Girls in 2020 and left after 2 years. The centre-back returned to the club in 2023 and signed a one-year contract extension last summer. Balogun has made 23 appearances across all competitions for the Light Blues this season. Remember that you can follow news and programs from many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page. Follow us at Anambra Broadcasting Service. Subscribe to our YouTube at ABS Radio Television, on X at ABS Radio TV, and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Top stories once more. More stakeholders have reassured Governor Soludo's landslide victory amid the Anambra Guba polls. Joint security team have arrested hoodlums, recover pump actions in Anambra. Federal government has begun cancer campaign. Putin says he's open to direct talks with Ukraine as U.S. pressure builds. Security is here to stay in Anambra State. In the Anambra, security is everyone's business, and for us to have a more secure and livable Anambra State, let us join forces with the government in securing our state. If you see something, say something. Report unscrupulous elements to the security operatives for better security of lives and property. Remember the emergency numbers 5111 and 0800 220 0008. That's the news this morning. Thanks for watching.